Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you live in a huge metro area like Dallas-Fort Worth, trying to pick a new service provider, maybe especially something high trust like a dentist, it can feel pretty overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. You're relying so much on what you see online, but you wonder how reliable are those star ratings?
Exactly. And the DFW dental market, it's packed. We know from the sources that a strong online reputation, well, it's not just nice to have anymore. It's basically essential for getting patients in the door, for building that
It's
trust.
not negotiable in 2025.
So today, we're really going to try and cut through some of that noise.
Hmm.
Our mission, it's built on this specialized September 2025 market analysis from the Media Reputation Institute. And this wasn't just, counting stars on Google.
No, not at all. They went deep.
Yeah.
Quantitative metrics, topic modeling, even advanced sentiment analysis. They look at hundreds of thousands of DFW Google reviews.
All to figure out what really drives patient satisfaction, or maybe what drives them away.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And just to set the stage, sort of a benchmark,
Mm-hmm.
the DFW market, on the surface, it looks impressively strong.
Okay.
When the analysts crunched the numbers, they found, get this, 92.3% of dental clinics actually have visible star ratings online.
Wow, okay, so most are rated.
Yeah, and the average rating across the whole DFW area is 4.65 stars.
4.65, that sounds really good.
It is good, but here's the kicker. The median rating is even higher. It's 4.9.
4.9, so half the clinics are basically near perfect.
Exactly. Half of them are sitting at 4.9 or 5.0.
Mm.
It tells you it's a market with a very, very high bar for quality.
Huh.
It really is. There's only a small fraction, really, of clinics that fall below that 4.0 mark. So generally speaking, the clinical quality you're getting, it's consistently high.
Okay, all right, let's unpack that then. If the actual dental work, the clinical side, is so good across the board, where does the system start to wobble? Let's talk about engagement, because this seems to be where that digital trust index gets shaky.
Yeah, this is, well, it's kind of a systemic failure the analysis points to. Great service in the chair, yes. But the communication part, it's a huge missed opportunity. It really undermines those high star ratings.
How so?
Well, timely communication, it builds that digital trust, right? But the analysis found, and this is staggering, 52.8% of all online reviews, they just go completely unanswered by the clinics.
Wait, over half, 52%.
Over half, yeah.
So patients take the time to leave feedback, good or bad, and the clinic just ghosts them.
Pretty much. That sends a powerful message, doesn't it? Kind of indifference. Doesn't matter how good the filling was.
Yeah, that would definitely chip away at trust for me. You get a 5-star review, you'd think you'd want to thank the person, or if it's a complaint, address it. Ignoring it feels like.
Like a major disconnect
Yeah.
between maybe the clinical staff doing great work in the front office or whoever manages the online side. They're not capitalizing on the enthusiasm, or worse, not mitigating complaints.
Okay, so for the, let's say, slightly less than half who did respond, how quickly did they do it? Were they on the ball?
Well, for those clinics that engaged, yes. Generally, the response was quite fast. The majority, 68.6%, they answered within 10 days.
10 days, okay. That seems reasonable.
And it gets better, 80.6% were addressed within 30 days. So that 10-day window, that seems to be like the sweet spot, the industry standard for prompt engagement.
But I remember the report mentioning some really long delays, too, like surprisingly long.
Oh, it did. And this number, it really jumped out at the researchers. 9.5% of responses. They took more than 100 days.
100 days, that's, what, over 3 months later?
Yeah. Think about that. Responding to someone's comment, maybe their frustration, maybe even their praise, 3-4 months after they left it.
By that point, the patient might have moved on, forgotten about it, or maybe even chosen a new dentist because nobody replied.
Right.
Did the study look at whether those super late replies even helped? Or maybe made things worse?
The analysis strongly suggests anything beyond 30 days, it just loses almost all impact. So the takeaway is really clear, right? For anyone listening who deals with clients,
Yeah.
clinics that really make it a priority to respond within 10 days, they stand out. They really maximize that satisfaction they worked hard to earn in the first place.
Okay. So engagement is clearly a big issue, with over half failing there. That tells us we definitely can't just rely on the simple 5-star number to know who's really performing well overall. We need something more nuanced. Something that captures, how much buzz there is and how positive that buzz actually is. How did the analysts tackle that, create a better metric for real reputation?
Right. This is where they move beyond just averages and introduce these 3 advanced measures. Think of them as components of a true reputation score. They're all indexed 0 to 1.
Okay, components. Let's break them down. What's the first one? The one that measures the buzz.
So that's the visibility measure. Basically, it's the normalized number of online reviews. Think of it as the volume score. How much is this clinic being talked about online?
Okay, visibility equals volume, how much chat there is. Got it. Then the quality aspect.
That's the favorability measure. This acts more like a media endorsement index. It's your likability score. How positively do people actually feel about the clinic in those reviews?
Right, and you can see immediately why you need both. High visibility but low favorability. That sounds like maybe a controversy or consistent problems.
Yeah, the potential PR nightmare.
And high favorability but low visibility. That could be a fantastic clinic nobody knows about.
Exactly. Which is why that third measure is so crucial, the composite measure. This brings visibility and favorability together into a single index. It's the overall reputation health score.
Okay, so it balances things out.
Yeah, it tells you the difference between a place that gets a lot of attention but maybe isn't reliable and one that consistently delivers excellence and is well regarded for it.
That makes sense because, like, 5 perfect reviews shouldn't carry the same weight as maybe 1,000 reviews averaging 4.8, right? The composite score adjusts for that scale.
Precisely. And you can see this really clearly when they applied it to ranked clinics in different DFW cities. For example, the absolute top performer they found, La Prada Family Dentistry in Garland.
Okay.
They achieved a perfect 1.0000000 composite score. And that came from a perfect 1.00 on visibility and a perfect 1.00 on favorability.
Wow. So everyone's talking about them and everyone loves them. That's the gold standard.
That's the peak, yeah. Now, contrast that with, say, Midtown Family Dentistry in Dallas. They also had a perfect 1.00 for visibility, just as much buzz.
Okay.
But their favorability was slightly lower at 0.98. So the overall composite score was 0.98.
So it's still incredibly good, obviously. But that tiny dip in favorability, that 0.02 difference, it suggests that maybe out of every 100 people talking, a couple are having a slightly less positive experience compared to the absolute leader.
Exactly. It shows how even small issues, when you're highly visible, can just slightly dilute that overall reputational strength. That composite measure really clarifies the true market position beyond just the average star rating.
That's really helpful. Okay, so we know DFW dentists are generally doing good work, clinically speaking. We know how to measure their real online reputation using these combined scores, but what are patients actually talking about in those reviews? What topics keep coming up?
Ah, right. This is where the topic modeling comes in. It's pretty cool, actually. It let the analysts sift through all those comments and group them into 6 core themes. These themes basically cover the whole patient journey.
The competitive battlefield, as you called it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
This is what patients care about.
Okay, let's run through them. What's theme number 1?
Theme 1 is patients' overall experiences. This is the broad general feeling. Keywords are simple things like, great team, excellent, friendly place.
It's the vibe check stuff.
Exactly. Reviews like, the staff is amazing, or best dentist in town, that kind of overall sentiment.
Gotcha. Theme 2. More specific, I assume.
Yep. Theme 2 is treatments. This gets into the technical side, the actual procedures. Keywords like pain, crown, filling removed, root canal.
Right.
This is where people comment on the clinical work itself. The procedure was totally pain-free, or my filling looks great.
Makes sense. Okay, theme 3 sounds important for families' kids' dental experience.
Oh, definitely. This focuses entirely on pediatric care. Keywords are kids, pediatric, son, daughter. And the stories here, the anecdotes, they're often really powerful.
Like what?
Well, there was one reviewer who talked about how their daughter was terrified on her first visit.
Mm-hmm.
But the staff was so good, so comforting, that now the kid actually says, I love the dentist, when they leave.
Wow. That kind of story is gold for a clinic. Parents share that stuff. Okay, theme 4.
Theme 4 covers professionalism and organization. This is more about how the office runs, the efficiency, the admin side, but separate from billing specifically. Keywords here are things like efficient, organized, appointment scheduling, clean. Patients notice and appreciate when an office is tidy, runs on time, handles paperwork smoothly.
Right, the nuts and bolts of the operation. Then theme 5, this one probably causes some stress. Insurance and billing issues.
Yep, you guessed it. This is where all the friction around money comes in. Keywords: insurance, bill, cost, cover, expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And comments here can really vary. Some praise clinics for being clear about costs. Others, well, you get complaints like they've had several billing errors going back more than a year.
Oof. Yeah, I can see how that would sour an otherwise good experience. You could have a perfect root canal, but if the bill's a mess.
Exactly. That admin headache can totally overshadow the good clinical work. It happens all the time.
Okay, and the last theme, theme 6. You said this one is often overlooked.
Yes, theme 6 is emotional distress, which sounds intense, but it's really about patient comfort, sensitivity, managing anxiety, and fear.
That's fascinating. You don't usually think of emotional distress management as a core dental service, but it clearly comes up a lot in reviews if they tracked it.
It absolutely does. Keywords are things like anxiety, phobia, nervous, fear, pain. And the positive comments in this theme, they often highlight genuine compassion, like they showed such understanding for my anxiety.
Okay, so those are the 6 big topics people discuss. Now let's apply that advanced sentiment analysis lens you mentioned, ABSA, aspect-based sentiment analysis.
Right.
This isn't just positive or negative overall. It tells us what specific aspect people were happy or unhappy about, correct?
Precisely. ABSA lets us pinpoint exactly what's working and what's really driving dissatisfaction, even within a generally positive review sometimes.
So where are the biggest pain points according to ABSA? What themes generate the most negative comments?
Well, when you look at the percentage of negative reviews linked to each theme, two really jump out. And interestingly, neither is directly about, say, the dentist's technical skill.
Okay. Lay it on us.
The number one source of negativity: insurance and billing issues. By a significant margin, it generates 38.75% of all negative reviews across the DFW market.
Wow, almost 40%, just from billing and insurance problems.
Almost 40%, yeah.
Mhm.
It's fundamentally an administrative problem, not a clinical one, but it has a massive impact on reputation.
Huge. Okay, what's the second biggest source of dissatisfaction?
That would be treatments, coming in second at 28.75% negative reviews.
Okay, so procedures themselves are still a significant source of complaints, pain, outcomes, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Even though the average quality is high, things can still go wrong or
Mhm.
perceptions can differ.
Right. Now, let's connect this back to those reputation scores we talked about earlier. If we look at the composite reputation scores for each theme, does that paint the same picture?
It absolutely confirms it vividly. So the theme with the highest overall score, patients' overall experiences, it gets a composite score of 0.98. People generally feel good about the overall vibe.
Okay, top marks for the general feeling. And the worst. Does it match the negativity percentages?
Oh, absolutely. The lowest score by far belongs to insurance and billing issues. Its composite measure is just 0.03.
0.03. That's incredibly low.
It's basement level. And its favorability measure alone is only 0.32, way, way lower than any other theme. It leaves no doubt that admin and financial friction is the market's biggest weak spot. It's dragging reputations down.
So, if fixing the billing and insurance process is the biggest weakness to address, what's the biggest opportunity? Where can a clinic really stand out and maybe push towards that perfect 1.00 composite score?
Well, that brings us back to that fascinating theme: emotional distress.
Yep.
Remember, this theme had very low visibility. Its score was only 0.04.
Yeah.
People just don't talk about it nearly as much as billing or their general experience.
Right, low visibility. But the favorability was high, wasn't
It's
it?
critically high, yes. Its favorability score was 0.87. So when clinics do effectively manage anxiety, show compassion, make patients feel comfortable and understood, patients really value it highly. So you have this area managing anxiety, fear, providing comfort that isn't discussed much, meaning there's room to build visibility there. But when it is done well, patients rate it almost perfectly.
That sounds like a huge untapped differentiator.
Exactly. It's the potential secret weapon for reputation building.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Whether you're out there looking for a dentist in DFW or maybe you manage a clinic yourself.
Wow.
We know the baseline quality in DFW is high. That 4.65 average is real. But we also know engagement is, frankly, pretty weak, with over half the reviews just getting ignored.
That's the problem.
Right. And we learned that real reputation isn't just stars, it's that blend of visibility and favorability captured by the composite score.
So what's the big takeaway from the data?
I think it's clear. Satisfaction is generally highest. With the overall experience, the clinical side seems strong. But the market's Achilles heel. It's administrative, it's the front office stuff.
Insurance and billing. Insurance and billing are driving almost 40% of the negative feedback. If you want the single biggest lever to pull to improve reputation, fix that. Streamline it, make it clear, be more proactive.
Okay. And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. Something to chew on?
Well, think about that emotional distress theme again. That super high favorability, 0.87, tells us patients place enormous value on genuine compassion and anxiety reduction. It gets rated almost perfectly when delivered.
But it's rarely discussed online.
Exactly. So consider this. Maybe the most effective path to a truly dominant online reputation isn't just perfecting the clinical procedures. Maybe it's mastering patient comfort, reducing anxiety, and actually making that empathy a core, visible part of your clinic's identity. It seems like it's powerful, highly valued, and currently seriously underutilized.